Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Prehistoric Kingdom Early Access. I have been asked by a few of my subscribers if I would do a tutorials, I guess like a string of videos for want of a better word, a bit of a tutorial series. I thought I would start out with how to build a viewing area. So, well, at least how to, not necessarily how to build one, because I mean this is one as you can see, but how to detail it and make it look a little bit more interesting. So this building that we have here, it's fine, you know, like it's a rectangular shape, it has a planter inside, it has some seating, it has somewhere where you can view out the front and where you can walk in and out at the back. And really, I mean, what more do you need in a viewing area? But in my opinion, this is pretty boring. And I want to make it look a little bit nicer. Now I'm going to keep the basic shape because although I do think that rectangles are somewhat boring, there are some ways to make this type of building look a lot better. And it is a good place to start for a beginner if you kind of just want to have a nice viewing area, but you don't necessarily want to have to worry too much about weird roofing or anything like that. So we're going to start out with this shape. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove these trees here. So next thing we're going to do is we are going to remove that roof because it is hideous in my opinion. So long to that roof. And then we're also going to remove the front windows here. So I've actually got two pieces in place here. I've got a wall piece and then I also have a window piece. So if I get rid of that, you can see in there I have the window piece, so I can just remove all of those quite quickly. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I am also going to remove these archway doors, and you'll see why in just a minute. Now at the moment we probably can get rid of all the interior as well, because it's not necessarily all that important to keep it. We'll leave that planter for now, but we are going to make a much nicer planter later on down the road. In fact, I've changed my mind and we are just going to get rid of the planter. Okay, perfect. So now we kind of just have this footprint of the building itself. We want to raise it up slightly because it being straight flat on the ground like that isn't necessarily realistic. So we raise it up just ever so slightly off the ground, and then you want to just grab this concrete. It's these little things that make buildings seem more realistic, and kind of make it feel like you've put a bit of effort in, but it really is only the small details. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just making this concrete floor actually just a little bit bigger. So the footprint of the concrete is a little bit bigger than the building itself, which makes sense because, you know, the building would have had to be built on a concrete slab. So you can see that's what I've done here. I've just popped that in like so. And now we have basically just this shell. At the front of the building, you saw that I had like those window pieces, which are fine, but I really like the idea of just having glass. So if we just pop in the front here, head down to the object basic, and just select the window piece, and we can actually just move that along the front here. So already the front of this building is looking much nicer than it did originally, in my opinion. And then what we want to do in the back here is we just want to head to the wall pieces and we want to pop a door on here. Could be glass, but I don't want it to be. So let's just change it to modern. Let's change it to here. Yeah. Now the next thing that we want to do is we want to make the building itself a little bit more realistic. So buildings aren't just built with a wall and nothing else. They always have structural support to help them, and also doorways always have support as well. So how you want to, I guess, theme this or make this look is completely up to you. I'm thinking we might go for a bit of a cave style entrance here. So I'm going to put some rock around the edge of this, but you also could frame it with just I guess some beams. So you could use some steel beams and you can just pop it here, and that would work too, and still the effect is really nice. I'll just show you what that looks like. I'm actually going to use this in another habitat in my park. So, and then if we pop on the 90-degree angle snap, that makes it much easier. Just bring that on up. And you can see already that door, I mean, it is very simple and plain, but it already looks better than not having anything at all. and a little bit more realistic, like something's actually holding up that door frame. So I'm actually going to go in, I'm going to jump into a really quick speed build, and I'm actually going to frame this with rock, and then I will come right back to you guys. Okay, so here we go guys. You can see this is how I've decided to frame this particular doorway, but like I said, there are loads of different ways to do it. You can use logs, wood, any type of beam that you like, be it wood beams, concrete beams, steel beams, whatever you desire, and that kind of just gives it that finished off look. So we've got this like kind of cave-like entrance here, and then as a guest you would kind of wander through here, and you'd have like this glass vista in front of you. But still, we're not looking particularly realistic building wise, so I'm going to just show you quickly how you can make buildings look a little bit more realistic by putting on some structural supports and just some supports in general. So now what we want to do is we want to add a decent roof on. Now I don't want to go for anything too boring, but I will use the in-game roofs. So what I'm going to do is there is a slanted roof that is 4x1, then there's the 4x2, then there's the 4x4. Now I quite like the 4x2 for buildings like this, and I'll show you why. So what I like to do here is I grab my roof. I'm out of this group now because I like my roofs to be on a different group. And I kind of position it just so that it's just above, just kind of outside that slab, that concrete slab, and then I press shift to raise the roof up. Now I like the roofs to be on a grid, so that's what I'm going to do here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go across like this. So now that we've got that in place, in the same group, in the roof group, you want to add some half walls. So here are the half walls here. We're going to flip them round and we're going to add them in. I'm going to make them concrete, and I'm going to add in 2 half walls on each side of this roof, just to kind of close that in a little bit. And then here in the middle, I'm actually going to still add a half wall, but it's going to be glass to allow that light in. Almost like a makeshift skylight. Now you can, if you want to, even make an actual skylight in the roof, and then you can make those concrete if you want to. Now what I like to do with roofs is I don't like them to just be direct, sort of over the top of the building kind of situations, because that's not particularly realistic. So if we just move the roof up slightly, and then what we want to do is we want to actually make it slightly wider than the building and slightly longer than the building. the inside of the building. So we've pretty much done the exterior. So we just hop up here and have a look. The exterior is looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with that. It's still pretty simple. Like, this is a very simple building, don't get me wrong. But it is good, you know, when you're first starting out to just try all different things, try lots of different things and have a go at things. It's really important to do that. I still think that this building isn't quite as supported as it should be. Like, there should probably be some support beams in the middle, but you guys can do that at your own discretion. All right, so now what we're going to do is we are going to put in some seating for the guests, and we are also going to add in some planter boxes. So what we might do is we might actually add in an implied seat and pop a planter box down the middle, because I'm all about those at the moment. So I'm going to grab 4 pieces of the floor here, and I'm going to copy them and move them up and raise that up to there. So there you go, you kind of have this middle section where we're going to have the plants in. Alright, so what you'll do is, if you want to do implied seating, you can literally just grab one of these, make it wider, make it longer, and then drop it down. And there you basically have an implied seat where people can just come along and sit on it. And I think that is literally all we will need to do for this building. So let's just quickly pop another one on this side. Like so. And then around the edge of the top section, we're just going to pop some wood, and then we're going to place in some mulch. Okay guys, so there you go, you can see I've popped the plants in. It's looking much better than that original little planter that was down this end. I've changed the colour of the concrete so it kind of looks like somewhere that you could sort of sit down and rest. And then basically guys, this is a simple viewing building, you know, this is it. I'm pretty happy with it. The only thing that I do want to change is I want to add a beam across the top here, which I will just quickly do. Okay, and that frames that building really nicely. So there we go guys, I'm pretty happy with that building as it is. It is very simple as I said, but sometimes simple is all you need. And what I'll do is I'm going to quickly jump into a speed build, and I'm going to decorate around the rest of the exterior of this building, just so that you can see what it would look like if it was kind of in a habitat kind of situation.